Balitang National. Good morning, Pilipinas, and welcome to another edition of Balitang National. For this video, allow me to use English and Tagalog as our medium of instruction. Ano kaya ang mangyayari pag i-simplify natin ang set of expressions here under the process of subtraction? Meron tayong 2x plus 4 all over x squared minus 8x plus 15 to be subtracted with x minus 5 all over x squared minus x minus 6. Bago natin isa-subtract, let's try po. Baka kasi may makakancel natin dito eh. Let's try to factor our denominators and see later on if there's something that we could remove under the process of cancellation law. Our denominator of the first rational expression, which also includes yung sa pangalawa, ay tinatawag natin quadratic trinomial. So we can factor them using the AC way. Let's start with x squared minus 8x plus 15. So the AC there is 1 times 15, okay, which will give us a result of 15. The factors of 15 are 1 and 15. We can also try negative 1 and negative 15. This also includes 3 and 5 and negative 3 and negative 5. Now, which of these four pairs of factors when added will result to our middle coefficient, which is negative 8? We have here this pair here. Negative 3 plus negative 5 is negative 8. And when we multiply them, makukuha natin yung AC. This would mean, if we're going to continue here, our numerator is still 2x plus 4 to be divided by two binomial expressions. Take the square root of the first term. You have x. We also have x here. And then, we use these coefficients, x minus 3 and x minus 5. Noticeably, we cannot cancel anything here. Kahit na i-factor natin yung 2, if we're going to factor 2, yung matitira dito is x plus 2. Wala pa tayong makakancel. But this has another purpose because we will see later on if we could use this when finding LCD. Let's proceed further sa pangalawa. Yung AC way natin is 1 times negative 6, which will give us a result of negative 6. The factors of 6 can be 1, of course, and negative 6 as given. We could also try negative 1 and positive 6. We could also try 2 and negative 3, as well as negative 2 and positive 3. Now, we have 4 pairs of factors. Pero, isa lang po dito yung pwede. Kasi nga, when we add all of these pairs, we could get negative 1 as the coefficient po ng pangalawang term natin when we use these coefficients. 2 plus negative 3 is negative 1, and when you multiply them, makukuha natin yung AC. So, ang mangyayari sa pangalawang rational expression, this is still x minus 5 over yung ating binomial, dalawang binomial. Take the square root of the first term, x, and we'll be using these coefficients, x plus 2, and you have here x minus 3. So, wala pa rin makakancel dito. And by the way, huwag niyong gawin to kasi di sa pwedeng makakancel kasi nga, yung dalawang rational expression is under the process of subtraction. We can only use the cancellation law if the terms or the entire or both rational expressions are separated by multiplication. As mentioned as well earlier, when we're going to factor 2 here, makakuha dito is 2 times x plus 2, tama? Di rin po pwedeng i-cancel itong x plus 2 at x plus 2 dito sa kabila. Kasi nga, with the same reason. Now that we are sure that nothing could be cancelled, we can now proceed with subtracting them. Now, here's the tricky part. When we subtract rational expressions, katulad po sila ng fractions. When we are going to subtract fractions, let's say 1, 6 minus 1, 8. We cannot say 1 minus 1, 0, so the result is 0. Di po pwede yun. Kasi nga, we can only add or subtract, in this case, fractions with similar denominators. 6 and 8 are not similar. Same as here, x minus 3, x minus 5, and this pair, yun yung binigay natin sa ating given, are not the same as well. So yung gagawin natin is maghahanap tayo ng LCD. In 1, 6 and 1, 8, You could try 48 because you can simply multiply 6 times 8, you will get 48. But yung 48 po, hindi po siya tinatawag na least common denominator. Kasi nga, may mas konti pa sa kanya. Yung 6 natin can be represented as 2 times 3. And yung 8 natin is 2 times 4. Since we have multiple 2's, for LCD, kahit isang 2 lang po pwede na. And then, 3 at saka yung 4. 2 times 3 is 6 times 4 is 24. 24 is the LCD, not 48. Bakit po natin diniscuss ito? Kasi katulad ng ating factored denominators here, we have x minus 3 which is present on both sides, which corresponds to the 2 here, right? So our LCD would only need one x minus 3, and then those that are not the same, so x minus 5 and x plus 2, kagaya na ginawa natin kay 3 at 4 doon sa pag-LCD natin kay 1, 6, and 1, 8. Now that we have this, what we need to remember is, again, we cannot use 1 minus 1 here. Kasi nga, whenever we find LCD, we also need to express the numerators to make sure that our fractions formed are equivalent to what is given. We're talking about this process. We have 24 as the product of these three. Divide by 6. That's 4. 4 is the multiplier of your not exponent, numerator here, which is 1. That's 4 times 1 is 4. When you multiply all these 3 is 24. 4 over 24, that's actually 1/6 in lowest terms. This means we have established an equivalent fraction. Yun din po ang gagawin sa pangalawa. 2 times 3 times 4, divide by 8 is actually 3. That's the multiplier of our numerator. Even if we were to change it to 7, this would be the multiplier of 7. Okay? And we use the operation separating them. Same thing here. Yung concept po, i-duplicate natin dito. We will divide all these 3 by x minus 8, x minus 5. So, mawawala ito. Mawawala ito. Yung matitira is x plus 2. That is now the multiplier of our original numerator to x plus 4 to make sure that we are just making equivalent fractions. Kasi nga, look at this. If this is the expression, when we cancel this, what remains are just the same, right? So, we do not deviate. Di po tayo lumayo sa totoong value ng unang rational expression. Same thing, we will use this and divide it by this. So, my x plus 2, my x minus 3, matitira is x minus 5. That would be the multiplier of our numerator earlier, which is also x minus 5. Now, let's complete this by the operation subtraction here. So, when we do this, simply multiply the entire numerators. Let's just stick with what is our denominator in the meantime. Baka kasi may makakancel tayo. Pagsaswertehin tayo mamaya. So, we will just multiply the terms in each member of our what you call this numerator. So, for method kasi binomial by binomial, same thing here as well. X times 2x, you have 2x squared. Inner, 2 times 2x, that's 4x. That's x times 4 is 4x, so you have plus 8x, right? Then 2 times 4, you have plus 8. To be subtracted with, and here's the hint, let's place parentheses. Kasi nga, the result of this, the entire result will be subtracted from here. It's not just the first term. So we're going to place parentheses, and of course, since the operation po earlier is subtraction, may maiiba po sa ating process pag wala pong grouping symbol. Let's continue lang. X times x, that's x squared. Okay? Then inner, minus 5x, outer, minus 5x din. So you have minus 10x. And finally, negative 5 times negative 5, that's positive 25. So when we do it like this, ito po mangyayari. 2x squared plus 8x plus 8. Let's remove the grouping symbol, and when you do that, the signs of all the terms here, maiiba po sa kanila, magiging opposite po. So yung positive x squared will be given as negative x squared, as like this. Yung negative 10x will become positive 10x. And then yung positive 25 will become negative 25 all over the entire expression. of our denominator. X minus 3, x minus 5, and x plus 2. Let's try to combine our numerator. 2x squared minus x squared, we still have x squared. Next, 8x, 10x, you have plus 18x. And of course, you have here 8 minus 25, that's, if I'm correct, that's negative 17. All over the entire expression here. The next thing we need to do is to examine if we can factor our numerator. And the next purpose, of course, is kahit na ma-factor siya, can we remove something here from our denominator? So let's examine it carefully. When we factor out this numerator, we have AC, which is negative 17. I doubt if meron tayong factors sa negative 17 kasi yung factor ng negative 17 is just 1 and 17 itself. And then opposite sign lang. May negative 1, positive 17, pwede din pong positive 1, negative 17. But neither of them will result to 18. This would mean that the numerator is actually non-factorable. You might want to check that out on your own as well. So, di na po tayo pwede mag-factor dito. At saka, ibig sabihin nun, nothing here in the denominator would be cancelled out. Now, it's up to you if you would like to multiply this, but just for the purpose of this discussion, this is already the final result when we subtract the two given rational expressions. Lester Lou Sigumpan, nagbabalita for Balitang Rational. Huwag kalimutang mag-subscribe, i-like at i-share ang video ito. Maraming salamat!